Hey, it's Biddy Penny. Welcome back to my channel. And just to jump in real quick here, I am testing the new Tim Holtz Distress Spray Stain. This is the Lost Shadow color, and I just thought it would be so good for journals, and I sprayed it on this tag that I made, and I really love it. It's very subtle, and I love the way it gets kind of grungy when it dries. Here's the dried color. And I just wanted to show y'all that real quick. But what we're here for is the Roxy Weekly Challenge. So I'm getting caught up. I've been following along, but it's time to get caught up. So I'm going to do all 6 weeks in this video. I'm going to just demonstrate one item from each week. So she does a different design each week, and I'm going to be doing that, but then I'm making like 5 or 6 of each example. You'll see at the end of my video how to put them in your journal, how to use them. This first one here is an adaptation that she did of a wallet design, but she folded it the opposite way, and it kind of creates like quad pockets, like 4 pockets in a fold over. And it's just really cool. It's made with, book pages, and I am going to decorate this very quickly and very simply. I have this Tim Holtz tissue that I'm going to cut down and cut it to size. I will tell you that I think it's better to decorate that larger portion that I'm putting this on right now before you glue down that lower part to make that bottom pocket. It would be so much easier. This was a little frustrating, I'm not going to lie. Trying to get this tissue tucked down into that spot and cover the back. It just would have been easier if I hadn't glued that down yet. So that would be my tip for you if you're going to make these, is go ahead and decorate the back of them real quick before you glue that little bottom piece. Now I'm using this printable washi, and for those who you don't know what it is, it's just strips of printed or pattern design that you can cut out and use like washi tape, but you have to put glue on the back. So I used a glue stick. You can use wet glue. You can use anything. It's just paper. But I use that to decorate the bottom. And I'm going to keep these pretty basic, but here are some of the designs. You could check out chapter 1 had some really cool one, and so does Artsology on Etsy, and that's where I got these, was one of those 2 shops. These are Artsology here. And they're just really fun, but you don't have to have printable washi. If you have scraps, you could cut them in long strips like this. And I just used my ruler here and tore my strips instead of bringing out my paper trimmer, and it just makes quick work of them. So that's what I'm decorating this bottom edge with. Super fun, super fast. I'm not adding a bunch of ephemera and stuff to these yet. And I'm putting this little tag in each of my projects so I know which week to reference later if I want. But yeah, I'm not putting a lot of ephemera on them because I want to be able to customize them to whatever journal I'm making at the time. We're jumping in here to week 2, and these are going to be pockets. And I really like how Rachel, at Roxy Creation, she reinforces her paper because she uses a lot of really old vintage paper that might crack and be a little brittle. On these, she used this stapleless stapler. I have one in my stash. I'm honestly just not crazy about it. I'm showing you here. It's pretty tough, but they can come apart. I prefer glue. But I wanted to show you. And so on these, I got smart. And I did decorate the back part of the pocket before gluing down the front part. So, I think that's one of the things I'm really excited about following along this challenge this year is what I'll learn. Techniques that I'll learn to make me more efficient, to think things out more. And I think if I'm following along with somebody else's designs and someone else's tutorials, I'm bound to learn a lot. And you probably feel that way when you watch these channels. That's why you watch us, right? So I just know that it's going to make me a better paper crafter doing these challenges each week, and it'll build up my stash, which I'm really excited about. So I'm using this ephemera pack from Hobby Lobby, but Rachel, she fussy cut out all of her little ephemera bits. You can do anything you want. I just wanted to make it easy on myself because I'm in catch-up mode, right? So I'm just trying to get caught up here. But these are fun. And, you know, she mentioned something in her video, like she's not reinventing the wheel here. We've all done this before. But to have her fussy cuts hanging over the edge was what was different for her. It's like a really powerful focal point and kind of fun. And I agree. These are really fun. I'm so glad she shared this idea with all of us. You know, I'm using actual washi tape here. It's just really fun to use all the things you've got laying around in your stash and decorate these up. You can make these really fun. In fact, all of these ideas for the most part today would be great, like Happy Mail. If you wanted to send them to a friend, you could make one of these and fill it with ephemera if they're a card maker and send them little goodies in the mail. So adding my other tag here, and I'm just going to do it with like a little mini brad and attach it. I just want to be able to remember these. I am going to leave Roxy's playlist down below so that you can get caught up too. I definitely encourage you to watch her videos because here I'm just kind of getting caught up. I'm going really fast and I'm not taking the time to explain all the things because she does that. I'm just showing you kind of how I got caught up and the materials that I used. And I can't wait to share my idea journal at the end of this video where I'm going to show you all these are going, because I would encourage you to create one of those as well. So I am going to try to do this probably like every 2 weeks. I will try to get caught up, but I don't think I can follow every week. So I'm going to take it easy on myself, and just every once in a while I'll post a video like this for you guys and show you all the different makes. If you want to know what's going on every week, then just go over and follow and subscribe to Rachel's channel, Roxy Creations, and she is posting these every Friday. Okay, so this was week 3, and these are super fun and easy. These are like long pockets that you can fold over a page of a book. And I just chose some printables in my stash that I thought would be beautiful for this. And I altered which side I would fold them on so that, you know, depending on where I want to put them in a journal, I had options. So like this is the same page, but I folded it on 2 different ways, 2 different sides. And I also, before punching that, I am going to go ahead and back these pages. So I'm just using old book pages. That's the other thing that's really exciting about this challenge for me, is that I always have extra book pages laying around. And so now, you know, this is going to help me use those and give them life. So that's what I'm doing here. And I'm not worried about if those are upside down or not, because that part of the pocket is going to be glued down. Again, I'll show you at the end of this video. Quickly moving into week 4, I had already been kind of collaging bits and pieces of things that I was making. See, some of those are from prior things that we were working on today with those printable washies, and just different pieces that I had cut and used already. So I had this book page laying over to the side as my glue page, and I was just gluing down little bits and pieces. So this one came together pretty quickly for me, because I was already kind of collaging. So for this one, what Roxy came up with was like collaged tall, skinny tags. I'm just going to collage this one little book page here, but you could go, and get all of your scrap paper out and do a whole bunch of them. You could cut them tall and skinny. You can do anything you want. This is essentially a master board. So you can always turn these into journaling cards, tags, covers of junk journals was one of my favorite ways to use them. But just about any way you want. So I am going to finish up this little sheet here. I have just a couple of little scraps left over here. And I'm actually going to cut this down so that it fits inside those tall, skinny envelopes that I made with the music sheet. And those are super easy to make. Those music sheet ones, well, I use music paper. You can use anything you want. But those tall, skinny envelopes, they are so quick and easy to make that I made a whole bunch of them and didn't decorate them at all and just put them in my stash. That's another thing that you can do with these challenges is, you don't have to decorate them now, but maybe just make a bunch of the ephemera pieces like the envelopes, the tags, or whatever, and then you can go back and decorate them later. Same thing with like those pockets that was from week 2, the fold over from week 1. You could go ahead and just make a bunch of those out of book pages and decorate them later. So I'm just going to trim this down and clean up that edge of the paper, and then I'm just trying to cut it to get 3. I'm not really measuring it. They're not all the same. I will bring in that tall, skinny envelope, and I'm going to cut it down so that I know it'll fit in there. And you don't want it to be too short because it might be hard to get things in and out. I want them to be right up at the edge. Now, I'm going to bring in my little, I'm going to back them first. So I brought in some scraps for this one. I just have this beautiful scrap patterned paper that I'm going to back this with. And this glue sheet that I'm using right now is plain on the back. So I end up deciding to use that on these other 2. So you could just back it with another book page. You don't have to use patterned paper. So this one here, I liked that it was blank on the other side, but when I glued it down, you could still kind of see some of the text through it. So it'd be a great place where someone could journal if they wanted to, and it's decorated. It's not just plain. So I really like how these came together. I only made these 3. Now, for the tops of them, I have this like room key from a vacation, and I trimmed off the 4 edges all differently, and you can tell I lay it down one way, I'll snip the corner, I'll flip the card over and then get the other one, and I did all 3 of those just totally different at the top, but they're all tags now. Okay, so this is the week 6, and this was so much fun. I have seen these and always wanted to make them, and then you'll just forget. And so I printed some collaged printables to be my fronts. I did bring in some tea-dyed paper to line it with because a couple of these I'm going to send in the mail just by themselves, like Happy Mail. But then the others I'm going to put in journals. So the ones that I am backing with paper here, with this tea-dye paper, these are going to be the ones that are going by themselves as Happy Mail. And the ones that I'm not backing are going to be the ones that go in the junk journals. Now, you have got to go watch the video where Rachel made these because she did so many variations. It was wonderful. I am keeping it super simple. I do have 2 variations of the fold I'm doing, but aside from that, I'm keeping it all the same. So this one is kind of simple. It has 1 main fold, and then the others are more like trifolds. And I'm showing you here, like I'm taking another sheet of paper that is just as long. It's not cut down. It's 8.5 by 11, just like the cover. And if you kind of fold it in on itself, then you can fit it in and it just makes it fun. So these are like really old school document cases, if you will. They're just the way that some deeds and long contracts used to be managed, like a document folder. And so I brought in different things. I use my Tim Holtz ruler sometimes like this when I want a rough edge. So I put the beveled side down and I can kind of get this old tear that, well, it looks like it's been torn out of a book, but it's really a printable. Otherwise, I'll turn that ruler over to where the straight edge is down and I'll get a clean tear. These are some fairy pages. I really just wanted to share with you some of the things that I had decided to put in these document folders, because what I have and what Rachel has is totally different. And so I wanted to show you, you can make it your own. All of these ideas, you can totally make them your own. Here are some women's suffrage pictures and posters of this beautiful page. This was a journaling page. It was supposed to be 8.5 by 11, but I sized it to 4 per page, so I can make like postcards out of it. These beautiful pages. So here again, I'm just going to tuck this in and then start to fold it. I did notice that for me, folding each page individually was the best way to go, rather than just stacking them all in there and then trying to get a good fold. So here are some of my papers, and what I'm going to do is sort these out by size. I had printed and chosen different sizes so that they would show as I layered them up here. And so you can see I'm going to fold as I go, and it just made it all easier, more manageable for me to do it that way. Most of this is printed on like 20 to 28 pound paper. You can, for the inside pages and even for the outside pages on the ones that are going in journals, I kept that paper weight pretty light as well, just to make sure it wasn't too bulky. So here I have clipped everything together so it stays put. And now I'm going to put my brads in. So this is the design that's not quite really a trifold. This is the one that just kind of folds in half, and it's different because like your ephemera doesn't bend in 2 places like the other one does, and this one tucks in. So you have to be mindful, like here, that it's not, if I folded it as if it would go all the way in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim this cover off. And that way I can ensure that it folds and tucks inside this lip that I've created with the brad. See? Like this. Now that's that fold. The other folds are completely different. So here's my idea journal. It's a flowish book, and it's already getting pretty full, you guys. But I decided that my second signature here would be my Roxy signature. And I have a feeling if I do all 52 weeks, this book's going to be bursting at the seams. I might have to start a second one. But here, so this is the week 1 little pocket, and what you can do is glue down at the bottom on each side of the page, and then you'd be able to tuck things into the page and on the little pocket. So I made 4 more of those that can go in my stash. This was week 2. These came out so beautiful. That's the ephemera little tuck spot. I don't know. These are great for white pages. I made sure to include lots of white pages in my idea book because, you know, I think that it's good to come up with ideas and ways to cover a white page. So I wanted to make sure I had plenty of them in my idea book for things like this. So I think this is a great way to cover it. Now I'm showing you here that you could tuck something behind it, or you can just glue it all the way down and cover the page with it. I'm going to be able to see that tag, so that's good. Here's another white page. These are the ones that I'm going to have now in my stash. And I just love the way they came out. I'm going to be making an Easter journal next month. So I went ahead and decorated some of my stuff with bunnies just to prepare for that. Here is the long envelopes. I have a bunch that are not decorated, and then I have 3 that are. This one's going in my idea book, and I'm just going to paper clip it on. It's nice for your idea books, you guys, if you put some pieces in that aren't glued all the way down, or you put in your prototype folds and things like that. So when you come back to your idea book, you can remember how you made it. This one I'm going to go ahead and glue down. So on the short fold there, I'm gluing at the top, the bottom, and the side, which creates a pocket on one side of the card or the page. And then there's this long pocket on the other side. So there's that one. And then here's the other. Depending on the weight that you printed this at, you might want to double that long pocket, just double this whole sheet, or print on a thicker paper, because I'm afraid that pocket is just gonna, it could tear easily, is how I feel, but it just depends on the paper you're using. So here was the week 5 long ticket or tag. Here are my other long pockets now that are ready. They're in my stash. Some are folded over on the right side. Some are folded on the left side, and they are really fun. I really like those. I'll be making more of those for sure. And they're so easy. And then this little document holder, I really love these. So if you do the trifold, it fits better in the journals. But then the other fold too is nice if you want to send them or make it a main part. I mean, this whole little thing, if you add enough pages, could be a journal in itself. So yeah, this is one that is a little bit on thinner paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on a white page in my journal and then just paper clip it on. But that would be another great way to break a white page. Okay, you guys, so we're all caught up the first 6 weeks. And on Friday, another round of ideas will be out. I really love these. I put little Tim Holtz paper dolls in them. And I will definitely be making more of these as well. I'm so grateful for this challenge, and I hope you'll join me. Make sure to use the hashtag if you make things. Use the hashtag Roxy's Weekly Challenge and have fun making some ephemera, you guys, and tuck spots, and who knows what Rachel will come up with. But it sure is fun to follow along and to be a part of this. So thanks so much for watching, you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Here I'm just explaining how with a trifold, a lot of your stuff gets multiple creases, but with this fold, you don't. So that might be a deciding factor for you. All right, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and all of the fabulous ideas. I will have a collage out on Wednesday. I have some fabulous bookmarks for Friday, and I will see you next time. Bye.